Announcing the all-new podcast from the Vista Chamber of Commerce. Velocity is the Vista Chamber's new podcast. Bi-monthly, you'll hear interviews from Vista's movers, shakers, and changemakers with host and chamber CEO, me, Rachel Beld. Tune in and get the latest developments around the city of Vista and get insight from those who have a direct impact on our city. Watch Velocity on YouTube or tune in on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, or wherever you get your podcasts. Velocity, moving Vista forward.
There's a lot of differences and commonalities overall about African culture and U.S. culture. But for me, being back home before coming to here, everything was painted in such a alluring perspective of America, where you just got to show up and then you'll automatically succeed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I call in my opinion, in my family's opinion, we call America the best marketing company in the world. They have this beautiful, lavish, sexy, effortless image of themselves when you're on the outside that just makes immigrants obviously do almost anything, sometimes crazy things, just to come here.
That's right.
You know, and then you come back, you're like, oh, I got to work. I got to do all these crazy jobs just to make a living.
Same business, different day.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Same Business, Different Day podcast. I am your host, Zeke, recording as usual from the beautiful Film Hub in Vista, California. Now, when I first met our guest today, we were sitting on the 34th floor overlooking the world famous Coronado Bridge with a group of folks looking like $1 million plus one. When all of the guests arrived, they mentioned the first thing they noticed about our guests is the way that they're dressed. Now, you have to love when a group of separate people see the same quality about you. Listeners of the Same Business, Different Day podcast, please join me in welcoming these two dashing gentlemen, Javan Reyes and Cissé.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to this conversation. What we're really going to do today, though, we're going to get to know you, right? We're going to get to know you before we get into the business, which, may already be obvious what you guys are into. But listen, I really do want to know about your backgrounds, though, how you grew up. I want to know about how this all started, right? Because these paths, as I was telling you guys before, can help inspire other folks who, want to aspire to be somebody like you fine gentlemen. Okay. So that's what we're looking for. All right. So I want to have this conversation. I'm eager to have this conversation. You can tell I'm energetic about it. But Javan, where are you from? Where did you start out?
So name is Javan Reyes. I was born in Camden, New Jersey. It's funny when people say that because they're like, "Oh, you're from Jersey." I was only born there.
Okay.
I was there for about.
We won't hold it against you.
Yeah, I was there for about a year and a half, and then moved to Puerto Rico. So
really?
I was there for 2 years, and then came back to the States. We moved to Oregon, and then we were in Hawaii, and then moved to California. So kind of been all over the place. A lot of people ask if I had military parents. No, my mom was just trying to get to California. She overshot, went to Hawaii first, but we
it's not the worst place to wind up in Hawaii for a little bit. Right?
No, I think she liked the tropical weather. That's why she went. But
okay,
it was just it was good.
Yeah, especially so was she Puerto Rican? You had a Puerto Rican background?
Yeah.
Okay.
So mom and dad both Puerto Rican. It's funny because both of them were also born in Camden, New Jersey. It's like that's the place to get to be born and then move to Puerto Rico.
I love it. Yeah. So now, were they bilingual or are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So my first language is Spanish, and then speaking English growing up. Mom always said, speak English. They respect you more if you do. And so at home it'd be Spanish, but out and about it'd be English. So yeah.
How you feel about that now? That type of advice. Do you think that's true about respect?
Growing up, it's kind of mixed because even though I spoke English, I'm brown skinned, so so regardless of how I spoke, the stereotype was still there. Obviously overcame that over time, and I took speech classes and getting better with my English. A lot of people think that I kind of mumble the way I speak, but it's actually, in a way, I'm kind of masking my actual accent. So when I speak Spanish, you could tell I'm Puerto Rican.
You speak very clearly in Spanish.
Yeah.
That's interesting, man. Now, speech classes, was that intentional? Or was it just part of the prerequisites in school?
So but in high school, it was kind of that. I wanted to get better with enunciation and grammar and all that.
You personally, you wanted to get better.
Yeah,
okay.
Because my vocabulary was not as advanced. Growing up in grade school, I was in special ed classes, and it wasn't because I had a learning deficiency. It was just that it took me longer to get to understand things or to interpret those things because I visualize everything I see. And so being able to read something and understand it and then move forward from that, it was a challenge for me growing up. Yeah.
And, to be honest, there's nothing wrong with special education. You just needed to, get some other tools and you clearly have mastered them,
Well, still learning.
And you're not the only guest that has been through that. And I like that part of the journey. That's something that's important to share. You know, I love it. Now, what are you doing to mask your accent there, Mr. Moses?
So for me, originally from Guinea, West Africa.
Yes, sir.
So I came to the U.S. In '97 as my 12th birthday present from my mom. She brought me to America as part of my present.
To visit or to stay?
To stay. My brother and sister already lived here, so she brought me to join them. The challenge for me, as we'll probably dive into more, is the fact that English was completely cold turkey for me. Right. Because where I'm from, my country is mostly French speaking. Most of West Africa is colonized by French. So I never had taken any class of English until I came here. So the overall impact of learning something cold turkey and being bullied and all these different things was a lot of adaptation to do for sure in the first few years that I was here.
That's another important piece that I've again heard and doesn't get spoken about enough, just as what Javan was just saying about special education classes is being bullied, right? That's an experience that a lot of us have shared, right? And but a lot don't speak on, right? Because that can have such an impact on your mental health. That can have such an impact on, your self-confidence, what you think you're gonna do in your future or whatever, or people telling you'll never be nothing. But I'm also interested in rewinding a little bit. I'd like to know about those first 11 years though, before you even got here. Like I'm sure that also had such a major impact on you as a person, right?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of differences and commonalities overall about African culture and U.S. culture. But for me, being back home before coming to here, everything was painted in such a alluring perspective of America, where you just got to show up and then you'll automatically succeed. Yeah. You know what I mean? I call in my opinion, in my family's opinion, we call America the best marketing company in the world. They have this beautiful, lavish, sexy, effortless image of themselves when you're on the outside that just makes immigrants obviously do almost anything, sometimes crazy things, just to come here.
That's right.
And then you come back, you're like, oh, I got to work. I got to do all these crazy jobs just to make a living. And so
I love that you said that, and it's something that I want to talk about, right? And Javan maybe can help me with it since you grew up in the U.S. The American dream. And I'll tell you what, marketing wise, they're not just selling it to people outside. They sell it to us too, right? Oh, yeah. So as children growing up, it's like they paint the picture of, hey, everybody wants to come here. Everybody wants to be like us. Everybody wants to live like us, and everybody wants to be successful here. It's the American dream, right? But they're really talking about immigrants, though, when they're teaching us in school. They're not even talking about us. They're not talking about how we can lift ourselves up. They're talking about everybody wants to be here. So, work harder to beat them, basically, right? So did you have a concept and a belief of the American dream? Did you believe in the American dream?
Oh, 100%.
So-called American dream.
100%.
Okay.
I mean, that's why there's so many immigrants that go so hard and become successful in America, in my opinion.
Sure.
Because they're like, man, if I left my family back home, I left that comfort back home, I left that easy life back home to come here, oh man, I got to make it worth it.
Yeah.
If not, what's the point of coming?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, legitimately, you can live in my country and a lot of many third world countries with just $2,000 a month and literally live like a king because of how powerful the dollar is back home. You know what I mean? So I try my best to remind myself of that, hey man, you know what I mean? You could, if you want easy life, you could go back home. But if you're going to be here, let's make it worthwhile. So that's part of the reason how we attracted to meeting amazing people like you and other friends of ours that introduce us to you.
Appreciate that.
Because we ended up attracting a lot of like-minded people. They were like, hey man, let me elevate you. Let me do this for you. Let's do this. Let's make each other grow.
Yeah.
But you know, when I landed here 24 years ago, I didn't know I was going to meet an amazing gentleman, Zeke.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's just because we're all trying to add value, and eventually you'll attract the right people.
Right. But even there, that's still like that's like creating a network, that's building business, that's doing something together, like working as a community, which is amazing. But that's not necessarily the American way. That's not, I mean, I'm just trying to decipher this so-called American dream. And I'll tell you, Mo, I read an interview that you did, and I think that's something that people will say easily, that Mo accomplished the American dream, right? And I'm just trying to figure out, again, from you, whether or not you feel like that is saying truly what you've been through, or are they kind of devaluing the work that it took for you to actually get to where you are?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just my thought. I don't know if that's insulting to say you achieved the American dream. Congratulations. You got what we all told you would get if you got here, you know?
Saving for your finances can be difficult and scary, but when you have the right people around you, it doesn't have to be. My fiance and I understand it's not just about creating a legacy, but also building and serving one another. And that's what we're here to do. Brett and I bring back the fine in finances. We can do everything from saving for your children's future, also building a legacy for yourself. Our mission is no family left behind, and we truly stand behind our mission. You can reach out to us by either following us on Instagram at PipkinBrett or at The Fierce Female Financier, or you can just simply give us a call, 402-617-0645. Looking forward to serving and helping you.
The Same Business, Different Day podcast is brought to you by YourInsurancePlace.com. YourInsurancePlace.com is a conglomeration of two agencies, Network One Insurance and Bill Corley Insurance Agency. Their property and casualty agents and brokers specialize in commercial insurance of all types, general liability, workers' compensation, professional liability, auto, agribusiness, and much more. They also have great insurance carriers for your homes and autos. How do I know they are that good? Because I'm one of the agents. We believe in ourselves, and you will too. Contact us at yourinsuranceplace.com or call us direct at 866-384-0479. That's yourinsuranceplace.com.
To me, it's a powerful question, and I appreciate you bringing it up because it is relevant to the world that we both live in, but just from different perspective, you know, as an immigrant perspective, and as you guys as Americans. So long story short, I would say, yes, I'm grateful that I've accomplished part of the American dream. And to me, America is, you'll find out more in the other project that we're going to talk about in the future, is that America fundamentally means adventure.
Okay.
That's what the word means.
Okay.
So when the four founders came to this country, it was like a land of opportunity. It's newness. It's adventure. You know, of course, there's a lot of different challenges that came with that.
100%.
But the point is that to me, this leaving the comfort behind to come here was a risk. It was an adventure. But so far, and I continue to make it so, to make it worthwhile. Yes, it has been worthwhile because I'm literally doing what I love to do. You know, we're literally manifesting resources and connections to achieve something that we set our mind to do 6 years ago. So to me, yes, I'm grateful we've achieved that American dream. It doesn't mean that we've arrived and it's all set, but
Right.
I think relating to what America means, what the word means, and what the pink shirt that was painted,
Okay.
yes, I've achieved it, because at the end of the day, for me at least, without any of the political issues out there, is that at the end of the day, is that they allowed me to come here as long as I was willing to put in the work,
Right.
and utilize the resources that this country gives me.
Yes.
I can go as hard as I want.
I love it.
And to me, that's amazing.
That's something. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
to me, that's what it's about. It's like if we were all had access to resources, because in many third world countries like mine, you don't even have access.
Sure.
You know, but here there's an abundance of
Yeah.
access.
Yeah.
So it's really mostly up to you.
I love it.
You know, so to
love
me,
it.
that's my perspective, you know. But yeah, I appreciate that question, because it's a profound question, and it's something that both all of us can look at from either the immigrant perspective or from the American perspective and see what we want to do with it, you know.
Love it. I love it. How about you, Javan? What's your kind of your perspective on the dream?
So growing up, the dream was, and it was preached on TV, just, get out, get good grades, get that good job, and start a family, have kids, have the dog,
Right.
white picket fence.
Right.
That's what it was, you know. And then you hear about it, movie stars and musicians and these people that kind of takes it a step up and to the next level. And I wasn't sure where I wanted to be. I'm like, yeah, I can totally get married, have kids, settle down. So growing up, I grew up without a dad.
Okay.
And so I wanted to be everything that my biological father wasn't to me.
I love it.
And so that was motivation there. But then on the other hand, I had these dreams and visions of what I could do, what I could become, where I could go. And that drove me even more than just, the standard American dream. So
I love it.
Yeah.
So what did you want to be when you grew up, though? I mean, did you have like a thought, like, I mean, the early on, right? I mean, it's a dream, right?
Yeah.
But did you have any of those aspirations?
Yeah, 10, 11 years old, I wanted to be a cop.
Okay.
I just love the lights. The lights. Even to this day, it's funny because I tell Mo this almost all the time. It's the lights. I love the lights. San Diego skyline, Las Vegas. I love the lights, and it's true. But
we all have different ideas about those lights.
yeah, no. But yeah, being a police
so
officer was definitely one of those dreams
Sure.
younger on.
Love it.
That would have been, just protect and serve kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
How about you, Mo? You have thoughts about what you wanted to be when you grew up?
I didn't have a name for it, but I had a vision for it. What I mean by that, it wasn't like, a cop or anything like that. It was more like I was attracted to the lifestyle of certain entrepreneurs around me. The man that I'm named after is my dad's older brother.
Okay.
And he was a multimillionaire in the diamond business back home.
Okay.
And another uncle on my mom's side, he had like apartment complexes and hotels. So I was attracted to their lifestyles the most because they had this flexibility. They travel a lot. And then my namesake, my uncle,
business and pleasure.
I'm telling you, man, he was the first person I've had ever heard of, especially back home in my country, who custom ordered a car in Germany and had it delivered to them. I was like, oh my God, dude, that's insane. What do you mean? You're friends with the factory? So it's like stuff like that.
That's
so
amazing.
It was the idea that I was attracted to, and then eventually seeing my mom as an independent woman. She's been an entrepreneur all my life. She's never had a job since I've been alive.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it was. I was attracted to that flexibility and the lifestyle that they had.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You know, and I think that one of the things too, and let's get back to something else that you said earlier. One of the things that's important about both of you guys is your command for the English language. What you've done, Javan, you've already said in order to, speak as well as you'd like to, right? So you talked about, though, Mo, being just kind of thrown into a world that wasn't speaking French, right? How did you learn?
Oh man, I gotta tell you a funny story. So I came in, like I said, in '97. Toward the end of the year, I landed in New York, spent 3 months there, came to California. Luckily, New York was too cold for me. So when I came, my brother and sister that lived here, they basically were my guardians, took care of me most of my life. So my brother made the executive decision, instead of going into an ESL class, English Second Language, learning language, like most immigrant kids are supposed to do. He's like, no, I don't want you to be around a bunch of other immigrant kids. You're not gonna learn that quick. Just go straight into 6th grade, and then just be around a bunch of Americans. You're gonna learn. It sounded great, but the hardest shit I've ever done in my life.
Absolutely. Because
it was cold turkey, bro. I had never even spoken any word of English.
Yeah.
But now, looking back, of course, it was the best thing ever, because that's why when I meet people today, they're like, man, I can barely hear an accent. It's because I think there's a technical term for it. It's called full immersion.
Oh, okay.
Total immersion. I think total immersion.
Yeah.
When you fully immerse yourself into a thing or topic or skill, it's the best and quickest way to learn. Like I've taken 4 years of Spanish, but because I don't practice it consistently, it's not as sharp as it should be. Sure. But if you drop me in Mexico for 2 months, oh man, I'll come back
100%.
fully for 100%.
I'm the same way. I took 4 years as well. And I mean, that's when I'm in Mexico, I mean, because then it turns almost like you said, it's emergency. Like it's like, it's not life or death, but you kind of feel like it. If you're left alone, it's like, okay, now I got to be able to navigate and communicate. And it's crazy too. Sometimes I even dream in Spanish, and it's like, it's just like, wow, like fluent, like flowing. So I know it's there.
Yeah.
But I do like to go back to Mexico.
I'm glad you brought up the dream thing. I'll talk about that as well. And in one of my projects, which is that's how I knew that I was becoming fluent in English. My dreams went from being in French, and then my local dialects from Guinea, to now I was dreaming in English. That really never clicked for me until now that I'm looking back on my life. I'm like, wait, my dreams shifted.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, is that it's when your subconscious obviously starts to take over. That's the best part.
And I'll say this, just from my perspective, I don't think losing an accent is important. But your command for the language, whichever language you're speaking, is what's important, right?
Absolutely.
Make sure that we can understand each other.
Absolutely.
And you got great command of the English language.
Thank you,
These
brother.
are words that, you brought back immersion. I forgot all about that.
That's funny.
I love new words, and I love to spell too.
My university might send you a check in the mail saying that, hey man, I went to USD. They're like, what? You complimented him as an English major?
Yeah, you did.
Like, sure.
You did it. You did
Thank you.
How did you wind up in San Diego, Javan?
So after Hawaii, my mom moved us here to San Diego. It was in the transition point after my father left. We had followed a family. Actually, I think I might have it wrong. It was Oregon, Hawaii, back to Oregon, and then California, because I remember the drive from Oregon to California. And so we may talk about this at a later time, but my childhood was pretty dark. There was some substantial shifts that had happened that altered the course of my life and the life of my family. And we were taken into a home, some friends from a local church, and some things happened there, and some serious trauma, and that's kind of where we ended up in California, and then been here pretty much ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in California as well, where you ended up with your family. So your brother and sister, are they in San Diego?
Yeah, my sister ended up getting married, and she moved to Missouri, where she currently lives. But my brother is still here in San Diego. Yeah.
Yeah, love it. And you went to USD. It's where my sister went to law school at USD.
Oh yeah, they're known for their law school and their business school.
Yeah.
But as an English major, that was just a different thing. Yeah.
It's a good area, though. I mean, I
Oh
love
yeah,
it out
beautiful
there,
campus.
Yeah,
Beautiful
absolutely.
campus.
So now you guys also, we were talking earlier. I want to hear about corporate work, other jobs that you had right before you started your own. Before you guys made this decision to get together and start your own business. So, you got any ideas of just early corporate work, even before the insurance business? Like, what was your first job?
Yeah. You want to go first on your first job?
Yeah. First job was Subway sandwiches.
Okay,
Proudly so.
I think mine was Togo's.
Okay. Yeah. So I was a senior in high school. That was actually my first W-2 job. I did do construction. Got paid under the table. I was 16.
You don't say that on record, bro. That's
I mean, it's fine now. It's been I don't know how many years, but that was amazing. I learned that you can make serious money. But here's a very, very important part that I learned back then doing construction, digging trenches and doing all that manual labor. Yes, it was financially rewarding, but it would break down your body.
Long-term effects.
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe
and I learned, it was then at 16 that I learned that I rather work smarter for my money than harder. And that's when I started to shift and think of other things going into business. And actually out of high school, I joined the military.
That's pretty hard work. Too.
Yeah. It was a couple different reasons why I had joined. Had some hereditary traits that I wanted to beat out of me, but also to serve my country. And I had an idea what I wanted to do because law enforcement was still pretty strong there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah, being in San Diego, I'd say it was still a plus because being here, I worked weekends and I worked in sales. Sales was an avenue that I knew that at the end of it, there's no ceiling to how much you can make in sales.
Good point.
Yeah.
That was the quote unquote, the dream of sales is you can make as much money as you want. You can, do all these things, buy the cars, buy the houses and all that stuff. And so I was looking into different avenues and okay, this can make that money, but this one can make more. And then, so kind of going up the ladder on what you can do and then learning about passive income, whether you rolled out of bed or not. And I actually learned that even before getting involved in insurance. I started working for this company that sold shoe cleaner, and I would sell it at the malls, and then I went and sold it at the fairs, and I made enough money to open my own franchise. So it was the very first business that I owned was a franchise for a shoe cleaning product.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great, man. Okay, Mo, tell us about your early jobs.
Yeah, you guys was Togo and Subway?
Togo's, yeah.
Togo's, okay. And then mine was Outback Steakhouse.
Okay.
I was a dishwasher.
Yeah.
$6.25 an hour.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Yeah.
Because I'm a clean freak, and then coming home all dirty and wet, I hated it.
Yeah.
But great company though, because my cousin stayed with them for a long time. So that was my first job. But again, I was surrounded by entrepreneurs most of my life. From my mom, my sister owns a hair salon. My brother is a real estate broker.
Okay.
So I was around it a long time. But
You saw what it looks like. You saw that it's possible.
Exactly. Even with my brother, I love seeing the fact that he was fully present with his with raising his kids because he could work from home.
Okay.
So it gave him that flexibility. He was able to travel. But I didn't really fully invest into our own business until we started years ago. But my corporate experience was the most substantial. I was working for an online school. I did that for 7.5 years, and that was the last corporate job I had.
Wow. Wow. Now back, Javan, I'm thinking, and I'm thinking about this, the shoe business, the shoe cleaning business.
Yeah.
What you had to learn something from that. I mean, that's early entrepreneurial experience for you. I mean, that's got to be amazing, and it's a step out on a limb, like a lot of folks wouldn't take.
Yeah. So with being in the military, I didn't mention this before, but I went to college for business and marketing. because I wanted to understand how business worked. And it's funny too, because you go back to 2001, 2002, during that time, business and marketing are two different things now versus then, because now you have the whole social media thing and all that. But I learned the fundamentals of it. And with having that shoe cleaning business, I learned how to be able to generate income, whether I was there or not. And I love that. I literally reached a goal. And when I hit that goal, I took my alarm clock outside, took a sledgehammer and broke that alarm clock. Because it was just amazing to know that I didn't have to live my life based on that alarm clock. I got to get up, I got to get ready, I got to go to work. That I created, that I was able to adopt this business model and make it my own, to where I could, after working X amount of time, I could step back and watch it work itself.
100%.
Yeah. And I wanted to duplicate that. So I actually had opened up a second location as well. So I ended up doubling my money. But yeah, it was.
So how did that end for you?
So 2008 happened, and then the market turned, and I ended up having to close one of them. And then it was, I believe it was a transitional point for me, because I could have kept going with it. But I had decided, okay, maybe I should get into a corporate job at the time. I ended up moving into wireless. I started working for Sprint as a sales manager, and I was making great money there. Yeah.
I worked with Singular. We got a lot in common. So now this corporate job that Mo was just talking about, is that the same job where you guys met?
No, that was, we met at an insurance company, which was more like direct sales. And that was more so part-time and things. But my corporate job, that was an online school. So I did admissions work for them, and then also employee trainings and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so what was that experience like at the corporate job where you guys, I mean, is there anything that came out of that other than the fact that you guys met each other?
Yeah. I mean, the thing for me, of course, you hear a lot of mixed opinions about direct sales. For me, although I didn't make anywhere near the money I thought I would make in direct sales, what it gave me that I'm forever grateful for is that it showed me what personal development was. It taught me that you could basically, whatever you believe in, you can create. Sure. So that was a huge tool that I never had access to. But more importantly, it also gave me a lot of quality relationships, from Javan to other people that I'm still in touch with, like 13, 15 years later. So to me,
you can pull from that kind
exactly.
of
So it was, to me, it served its purpose, and I'm grateful for, because I, believe it or not, I'm an introvert by nature. That's who I am. I know most people don't believe it because they see me doing this.
Sure.
But the way I recharge in my alone time is how I alienate, and how I recharge is when by myself. So through all of these different sales jobs and corporate job is what pushed me out of my shell to become more interactive, where I can basically turn it on as a switch whenever I need to interact with people and engage. But I'm not a natural. He's more naturally extrovert than I am, you know. So long story short, that's what it gave me, is the quality relationships, the different resources and skill sets to empower me to eventually do whatever I want to do in the future.
See, I love this. I love this is a business lesson, right? So because what you get out of this is that even if you're working in a corporate job, as long as you keep the mind state of a business owner, you will do things that business owners do. One of those is making connections and relationships that can be used later on, right? That's what business owners do too.
Absolutely.
So wherever you are, you know, and however long it may take before you start your own, or if you ever do start your own, always be thinking like a business owner. That makes sense?
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. Let's get to the reveal, guys. So as I said before, the reputation preceded him, and I was right. Now, for good reason. The two of these gentlemen, well-dressed, speaks volumes without words. I love that you guys embody that. They are the owners of Meraki Allure, a leader in fashion in the San Diego area and beyond. Weddings, events, they do them. They'll outfit everyone involved. House calls, yes, they make them. They'll clean out your entire closet for what works and what doesn't work for you, and replace your wardrobe with something that does, right?
Yes.
Right? Yes. I really appreciate you guys being here. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. Now, what's the definition of Meraki? Now let me spell it for everybody.
Yeah,
Meraki
yeah.
Allure. Meraki Allure. Second word. Allure.
Yep, you got it.
Okay,
Yep,
so
you
now
got
tell
it.
me about Meraki.
Yeah, this is another great business lesson. Long story short, when Javan and a couple of our friends convinced me to start the clothing line 6 years ago, I was having a hard time finding a good company name. So long story short, I asked my 13-year-old nephew at the time to find good words for me that had a good meaning. This boy in 24 hours found me 3 different words, and Meraki was one of them. And the meaning of Meraki is a Greek word. It means to do something with love.
Okay.
Whenever you put a piece of yourself in your work. So whether it's podcasting or running your own insurance agency or cooking, just whenever you put a piece of yourself in your work is what Meraki means.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
The owners of this building are Greek.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I love that.
Yeah, Meraki. Meraki. You guys learned it. To do something with love.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, going into business yourself, that clearly sounded like it was in the plan. Like that was coming, right? It was going to happen eventually. Now, one of the things that some insight that I got also from the past interview and the conversation that we had is both of your mothers were kind of involved in fashion in some ways, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tell me about that.
Absolutely. I'll tell you this quick story and I'll have you share your mom's side of the story. Okay. The reveal you just shared was so genuine because it's actually how you and I met.
Yes, sir.
Through Sammy.
Uh-huh.
And Sammy, literally I've only known about 4 months. We met at a professional networking event. We connected. And then what I love the most about this guy is just his eagerness and willingness to just improve his life and take it to the next level.
Love it.
I respect that. And then he became a client of ours. Literally, I went to his wardrobe and then we literally took apart his entire closet.
Yes.
We had like a stash of clothes to give away to Goodwill. And now we're slowly, literally rebuilding his entire wardrobe.
Yeah.
And my favorite part is he went to a convention in Atlanta. As soon as he left his hotel room, he started texting me. He was like, "Oh, people are complimenting me. I haven't even attended the event yet."
Yeah.
They're talking about my outfit,
Yeah.
So
That's
just
wonderful,
that
man.
instant confidence that we can give to people and the way they dress. I mean, it's just so priceless to me. So now I see him walking around like just swagging, So.
That's Sammy Vega, the end of season 2, I believe.
Yeah.
He was a guest of this show as well. And so
Great
you
guy.
guys could see what he was wearing then and what he's wearing now.
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah.
No, that's Sammy. That's a great story. And one other thing that I want to caveat to say is that Sammy was excited about you taking the stuff out of his closet,
Literally.
throwing it away. He, and so that's the part that I really like about it. Some people might be crying, "Oh no, don't get
Yeah.
rid of that" or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like get it out of here. If we're going to improve, get it out of here. Let's switch it up.
Yeah.
Tell
Yeah.
us, Javan, about your story, your mom's story. When it comes to your wedding, you want to look and feel your best. You don't need to settle for anything less than perfection on the most important day of your life. With Meraki Allure, you can have a custom designed and measured wedding dress that is exactly what you imagine. They will work with you to choose the perfect style and materials so you can enjoy your dream wedding day knowing that you look stunning. Let Meraki Allure help make your special day unforgettable. Book your consultation today at MerakiAllure.com. That's MERAKIALLURE.com.
The Film Hub is the future of co-working right in downtown Vista. Get energized to go to a safe work environment that is clean and sanitized. Create video content, live stream events, and all of your marketing material in our audio and video facility. The Film Hub. Do your best work here.
Thank you for tuning in to the Same Business Different Day podcast. If you like the way that our show sounds and looks and are interested in doing a podcast of your own, send us an email. Yes, we've gotten into the podcast game, producing podcasts for individuals and businesses just like you. Contact us at adifferentdayradio@gmail.com or on IG at adifferentdayradio.
So, and it's funny because I only thought about this before she decided to work with us, that my mom had sold bridal and formal gowns for over 20 years. Just top seller at her store. And I think that's where I got the idea about sales, because she was able to walk away from the 3 jobs she was working and just work in bridal. And that's how she was able to take care of all the kids on her own. She was a #1 seller for bridal gowns and everything like that. But she knew how to connect with people too. So it's more, and that's what I love about Meraki is it's more than a lifestyle. I'm sorry, it's more than a brand. It's a lifestyle, and it's how we're able to elevate people's lives with fashion as the excuse. And you see it in our video. Mo talks about that. But yeah, she did bridal for over 20 years, and she saw what we've been doing here, and organically she wanted to come work with us. So that was pretty awesome.
It's beautiful. Now, one of the things too, let's talk a little bit culturally, right? I mean, we're talking about these cultural mothers, you know, an African mother, a Puerto Rican mother, and we all know, I mean, there's some great colors that come out of the clothing that, you know, in your cultures, right? Are you inspired by that at all?
Absolutely. It's a part of our future. And even our immediate plans to incorporate more cultural themes and things like that. Like you said it exactly, which is that we come from a very colorful culture. When you look at African garments and things, it's very colorful and vibrant. So yeah, that's definitely a part of our design feature.
Yeah, that's great. Because a lot of people underestimate that. You know what I'm saying? They think, oh, well, you know, they barely got lights on or anything like that. No, these people really care about fashion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. In my culture, it's no joke.
And you know what other thing that I like about the clothing, or you know, the industry is, you know, we talked a little bit earlier about you being an introvert, right? We talked about you know, mental health, right? The comfort, the confidence, you know, that comes with, you know, putting on clothes, you know, it can bring that out of you. It can speak before somebody's even talking to you. Right? So introvert or not, I got to come over and say something to you now. You know what I'm saying? Because of what you're wearing. And I think that's amazing, right? So you're not just helping them, you know, just clean out a closet, making them look good, but you're changing, like you said, Sammy's confidence. He has to call you just, you know, just, he hadn't even attended the event yet. I mean, that's a great story. And can you guys feel that with your, I mean, hell, you're working weddings, right? You work a wedding. This is somebody's biggest day of their life. You know what I'm saying? And to make that successful for them has to be such a, you know, have such an impact, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think just like Javan said earlier, the way I look at what we do, exactly what he said, is that fashion is just an excuse for us to elevate people's lives. Because if I just wanted to make quick money and in the industry, we could have just went mass production. We could have just went the non-environmentally conscious route. We could have just bought a bunch of things from China and just sell it online and just wait for people to buy it and automate it. If money is the goal.
That's right.
This was a slower lane for us, but we chose it because I want to foresee myself doing this 20 years from now. I want to see this grow away from us, where it's our future children taking care of this, or our future business partners taking care of this thing. But I can't, if it's just about the online sell and selling clothes, that won't get me excited long term.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So the point that you're making about how we're making people feel and the confidence, I absolutely love that. But it also connects to how we got here. I was a personal stylist for 10 years before we launched our business. So alongside my corporate job, I would literally take men and women shopping and teach them how to put things together. That's how Javan was a client of mine before we even did business together.
Love it.
Literally, I would teach men and men how to put things together. And so, you know, now that you look back, you're like, oh, so things weren't for an accident. You know, it was all meant to be, because being a personal stylist before launching the clothing line encouraged me to never lose that part of the business, which is no matter how many clothes we sell, I still love working with clients one-on-one, getting to know them and building them a wardrobe that's actually personalized to them. You know?
I love it.
And to take it personal, so junior and senior year of high school, I started changing the way I dressed. I was watching those 007 movies. I was seeing how the swagger and the confidence and just the way, the respect factor. So you're wearing, you know, top-notch, you know, clothing. Now you're seen at a more respectable level. So before, like you were saying earlier, not even opening your mouth, but, you know, it starts by the appearance.
100%.
And I remember doing that in high school and even out of high school and in the military. A lot of people didn't even know I was in the military because of the way I dressed. And then it's funny how I kind of fell off of that for a while. And then with Mo and with this business, it's come back and being able to wear fitted items, you never want to go back.
100%.
Oh my goodness!
It's like sitting in first class and then having
Literally,
to go back to coach.
you're like, oh man,
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah.
So now here's another thing, and you guys gonna have to help me with this one because this is just a funny little stereotype I got in my head now because I've heard you speak about it when we first met. You spoke about like fashion shows and models having the folks that model your clothes for you, obviously, right? So you guys have put these kind of things on now. I see these the Met Galas. I see things that just look like out of this world. Like what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
And then I've also heard like these crazy stories about how hard this person was to work with or that whatever and the hecticness of getting makeup done in time or getting the clothes on that don't fit or whatever else. Like how crazy is that experience, a fashion show world?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think one of the greatest gifts we've been blessed with is picking a lane and being confident about the lane you've picked.
Okay.
Not being easily distracted. What I mean by that is the industry of fashion can be, it is very glamorous and sometimes can be a little shallow and vain and all of these things. But for us, because we know that we're in it for the long haul, we don't get as distracted when people start to focus too much on trends. Because for us, we try to create more timeless pieces.
Classic look.
Similar to when he was talking about James Bond. We literally went to go see that movie.
Okay.
Because there's a reason why I tell people a gentleman will never go out of style. That man has been a gentleman for decades.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's not a trend. That's a style. Fashion is what you're sold in the magazines every season. We're in the styling business. We're in the elevating people's lives business.
Yes.
But if you get caught up in fashion too much, then you're like, oh, I just want to build this crazy looking outfit just so I can get attention. That's okay if that's your lane. But fortunately for us, that's not our lane. So to your point, when we see the Met Galas and people wearing all these crazy things, I get it. You want to be talked about. You want to make a statement. Sure. That's okay. But for us, we want to create timeless pieces. When you spend your dollar with us, we want you to be able to use that piece of clothing more than just a year, more than just that season, So I'm very glad you brought that up because it was intimidating in the beginning. I'm not going to lie to you because some of the companies that started around the same time as us, they blew right past us and grew faster than us because they were in the fast fashion lane.
Yes.
So that can be intimidating as a new business owner. You're like, dog, man, we're struggling. We're using rent money. We're using all these things to make things happen. But again, you just gotta love the process and be committed to whatever lane that you pick for yourself. It doesn't mean you don't pivot and adapt as a business. That's part of being a business owner. You got to be adaptable. You got to be flexible. But as far as your overall vision, that's got to be firm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And classic styles do catch up.
Yeah. And part of that lane, just to piggyback off of what he was saying, is every single model that we've had model for us.
Yeah.
It's not their profession. Everybody that we've had,
right? Yeah. Brother was an engineer, I believe.
Literally.
Yeah.
Because you hear engineer, you're like a stylish person. Generally, that doesn't go together. Yeah. But literally, he's the first man I met that like literally outdressed me.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Respect it. He was like a mechanical engineer.
Yeah, literally, man.
Yeah.
So having models that's not their background, that they have their business owners, their coaches, whatever that is.
I see what you're saying.
So that's where we bring this new element of Meraki to the world. It's the lifestyle. It's what is your passion. It's how can we elevate you, and we showcase those at our fashion shows. So we don't just do the fashion show and that's it. We actually have our models, say their name, say what they're passionate about. And that's what the amazing, unique thing is. And of course, you're going to deal with divas along the way because it's just that industry, but we don't deal with nearly as much headache as a majority of them out there.
That was just a little amusement question for me.
Oh, no, it's a very valid question, brother, because it can be stressful. It can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know, we just did our most successful fashion show in June, because we always turn a year older in June. So it's the first time, too, we did a 2-day event. Man, it's stressful already doing one fashion show, but you're going to do 2?
Yeah.
You know, so, but it was the most successful event because everyone stays in their lane.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So when you have people that come together that legitimately love what they do and they stay in their lane, bro, I was actually out of town. I don't want to say unfortunate, but I had a business meeting literally out of state for the first fashion show. So I couldn't make it until the second event. So I was missing at my own event. And it was yet the best events we've had thus far.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you don't get to that when you're like overwhelmed, and you know what I mean? But yeah, it's so yeah, your question may have sounded silly, but it's a legitimately very valuable question because it could affect the quality and the outcome of the event.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love it, man. Enjoy it. I think that's one message I want to get better at sharing with more entrepreneurs and people that want to be entrepreneurs. Please enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Like when your idea goes from just being an idea and it becomes a business card, man, celebrate. Have a drink with your friends. Be like, man, it went from being in my head to a physical thing. Celebrate that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes as entrepreneurs, we get so caught up in the bigger vision and and we don't celebrate until then.
Right.
But what if that's going to be a year from now?
Yes.
You know, so that's a reminder to myself included, but I definitely want to consistently share that message more often. Enjoy it. You're only going to create your business cards one time. You know, you're only going to create your logo maybe 2 or 3 times. And, you know, but enjoy it. Enjoy the people you connect with because, and I'll say this just not just because I appreciate you, but it's just a genuine statement. The day I met you, literally as soon as you walked into this club, I spotted you. Like with the hat and the cream blazer you were wearing. And I didn't even know you were coming for our event.
Sure.
So the fact that I can spot that, and I'm sure it's not just because I'm a fashion guy, other people in the room can also spot it because most people are not making conscious effort.
Right.
So when you just decide to just go one extra step, you're gonna...
It makes a difference.
It makes a difference.
Absolutely. I love everything you're saying, man. And I love, you know, because we promote that a lot on the show, the balance, you know, that conversation about balance. During the journey.
Yes, please.
You know what I'm saying? Don't think that you're going to wait till the end and go, okay, now I'm going to take my RV and ride off into the sunset. You know what I'm saying? You're going to burn yourself out working and you never got a chance to take, like you said, just, you know, raise a glass, celebrate yourself for what you're doing along the way. And take some time to connect with some of those people you met along the way as well, right? And that's what we're doing here. And that's why I love this. I love this about this show, man. We're continuing our connection.
Yeah, man.
You know,
absolutely.
So
cheers to that, man.
Cheers to that.
Being present.
Be present, man.
Be present and enjoy the journey.
Yes, sir.
Cheers to that.
All right. Cheers to that. Now, one last question I got for you. And again, I'm glad that you guys made it, man. I know it's a little bit of a drive, and you know you get busy people, but you know this means so much that you guys are here because we are continuing that conversation.
It's shorter than distance and going to Africa, so it's okay.
Oh yeah, man. But, hey, I'll go with you. Take that trip together. We can work along the way. What about tips for the everyday person, right? Who you know either can or they can't. But they think they can't afford a professional shopper or a stylist or something like that. You know, what kind of tips do we have for them? Do we say still contact you? Do we say here's some basics about how to change your wardrobe, how to dress, how to throw away the stuff that you didn't want to throw away all this time? You know, how about throwing something out for them?
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think either way, I want to give as much value as possible to anyone listening to this. So whether you call me or not is relevant. One way is, number one, is be aware of any emotional attachment you may have to your closet.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes we keep things because they have, you know, memories attached to it or so. So before I even come meet with the client, I tell them to start looking at the closet and start thinking about what they want to get rid of. You know what I mean? Because it makes our job easier, but it also makes your life easier because you get first hand basically to pick it out. But as far as overall how to dress and tips like that, the biggest thing I tell my clients as a secret of the industry, the 2 things you pay for in clothes are the fabric and the fit. Everything else, you're pretty much paying for the brand name and everything else.
Sure.
But the fabric and the fit, if you can get more organic fibers, stay away from polyester and rayons and things like that, unless you really love the look of the outfit. But as far as fitting and styling specifically, I would say it's not all about name brand. It's about how does it fit and complement you and your lifestyle.
I like it.
You know, because way before this business, especially as an immigrant family, I didn't have the money to buy high-end stuff or custom stuff. So it's more so whatever you have, does it at least fit you well and complement you well? You know, spend $10-20, have the tailor hem it for you, bring in the jacket or the dress for you, just so at least it complements you better. Because that way it's going to help you a lot more to look like $1 million, you know. And then as far as if we were to consult with anyone, a lot of my questions revolves around your lifestyle. What do you do for a living? What your goals are? Because not everybody needs a suit and tie. Some people just need some nice jackets and some nice jeans and shoes to go with it. But not everybody needs a suit and tie.
That's right.
You know, so for a tip that could possibly go across the board, it's similar to what we're wearing now, is get some nice jackets, blazers, solid colored jeans, because I call that look my favorite look because it's versatile. I can go from a business meeting like this and then go hang out with my nieces and nephews and then just take my blazer off.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I love that, and I offer that tip to a lot of creative people because it's versatile. You can literally leave work and go hang out with your friends or family and still be comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, but as far as more details, it really depends on that person's lifestyle and their career goals, so we can match the closet to that. But personally, for me now, where I'm at in my life is that I have a new rule with my wardrobe.
Okay.
I call it the 1 year rule.
Okay.
If I haven't touched it in a year, it needs to go.
Love it.
So I'm striving to become more of a minimalist.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
I mean, it's reasonable.
but
That's respectful.
Yeah. So if I haven't touched it in a week, it got to go. So I'm constantly going to Goodwill or other places to give stuff away at least once or twice a year, because I don't want to have a closet full of stuff just to have a closet full of stuff.
That's right.
You know?
I love it. I love it. You know, and I also love that you mentioned fit, you know, because people, you know, like Javan, for example, who's, you know, he's all muscle bound and stuff, and then, but he might be saving some of those clothes for like the February and March months where he decided he doesn't want to work out anymore. So he's saving some of them that's a little smaller or something like that. I don't know, but there are people like that, and I'll be honest. I got a couple shirts. I look at them every morning. I looked at some shirts today, and I said, "This shirt's way too big for me. Will I ever be that big again, or was I just wearing the over baggy stuff back then, or whatever the reason is?" But I can imagine throwing some things away for sure.
If that's the case, you know, a handful of it is fine, but not half of your closet are maybe for the future. You know what I mean? There's no balance there. But a handful of stuff, of course, is reasonable. We're human beings. We're emotional creatures. You know, leave room for that. But the whole point is that how can we improve? How can we do better? And the way to do that is get more things that complement you, your lifestyle, your body style, you know, and that complements your career goals. Because at the end of the day, I cannot tell you how many times I'm just sitting at a coffee shop or I'm at a gas station and someone stops me to compliment me on my outfit. And many of those have led to genuine relationships or even business relationships. Like it blows my mind.
Right.
You know, and you mentioned this earlier too. I forgot to mention, which is that dress how you want to be addressed. That's my favorite quote.
I love it.
You know,
I love that one. That's
dress
a business
how
lesson.
you want to
Throw
be
that one
addressed.
out there. Dress how you want to be addressed.
You know, so for me, I didn't speak English that well. That's okay. My clothes can speak for me.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, you know, I'm not comfortable in this environment. It's okay. I'll dress to the 9 and then let people naturally come to me.
Yeah, 100%, man. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Any last words, Javan?
No, same what he said. I prefer vests. I'm not as muscular as I used to be.
Oh man, you're looking great, man. You're looking great.
But I mean, the great thing is, so when you learn these things. You get consultation. We'll tell you about the fabrics, stretchable material, breathable material. This jacket's cashmere. I run hot naturally, so wearing a blazer is different for me than it is for others. So being conscious about those different fabrics and different fits matters. And then also being able to just simply wear a vest. I can wear a button-up shirt, and I still already look like $1 million. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, it's great. And the great thing about us is we won't just be like, hey, there's that, wear that. We'll actually go through it with you. And that's what I love about this business. And what I love about Mo is we always work to elevate the person and, get their wardrobe to fit that.
I love it too, man. I really love what you guys are doing, and for all of our guests and everybody who's listening, if you guys want to get that personal touch, I want you to reach out to Mo Cissé and Javan Reyes at Meraki Allure, MERAKIALLURE on Instagram and Twitter, and that's the same for the website MerakiAllure.com.
And if they mention you, easily 20% off.
20% off. Look at it. You just won with the same business, different day discount. You got it. Give them a call. Get a consultation. Get the conversation started, because it only do it again. You dress how you want to be addressed.
Yeah, man.
Right. Man.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, guys.
This is awesome.
Same business, different day. Thank you for listening to Same Business, Different Day. We truly appreciate your support. Please like, subscribe, and leave a nice comment on all platforms. It really helps our show. The Same Business, Different Day podcast is produced by A Different Day Radio, Star Fox Media, and James Russell.